Hello children, it's Pastor Matthew here for our Children's Praise lesson. We're working through our catechism questions, and we have a topic here we're going to learn about is God's law. So let's learn about God's law and how it's supposed to apply. Everyone point right here to your chest. It's supposed to apply to your heart. The law of God is for your heart. Let's learn about that today in question 40. It says this: what rules did God first reveal for man to obey? What rules did God give us to obey? You know what rules are like. You have rules around your house. Well, here's God's rules. The very first ones he ever told us is this. The rules he first revealed were the moral law. Now, can you say that? Can you say moral law? Try to say it again. Moral law. So a law is a rule, like brush your teeth before you go to bed. That's a law. Now moral, that means here. Just point to your chest and say moral. That's what's inside your heart. That's the God's moral law. Okay? So I want to show you a Bible verse where Jesus talks about this. This is Matthew 5, verse 21. Jesus is going to talk about being angry. Have you ever been angry before? You have heard that it was said, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. That is, if you murder, you'll be in big trouble. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment, and whoever insults his brother will be liable to judgment, and whoever says, you fool, will be liable to hellfire. These are very big words, important words from Jesus. And I want you to understand what Jesus just said. Jesus said that if you are angry, like really, really angry at somebody, Jesus says that in your heart, it's like you're trying to kill them. Killing is a big deal. That's what we call murder. So if you're really, really angry inside your heart, that's because God's moral law, his rules, are inside you. Everyone has them. They're kind of like our hands. So I want you to take your hands. Now see, we have, with two hands, we have 10 fingers. God gave us 10 of them, which is pretty amazing. But if you put your hands together like this and say you're really angry, you can hurt people with these hands. You could punch. You ever punch your brother and sister if they stole a toy from you? You start crying, you get so angry, and you just hit them. Right? That is what Jesus said. It's like murder. It's like having anger in your heart. You feel so angry that you wish you could really hurt them with your hands. Well, everybody knows that's wrong, because God's law, his words or his rules for us are kind of like our hands. Everybody knows them. So if you're really, really little, you still have two hands, and you can do a lot with them. You can do good things with your hands, or you could do bad things with your hands. But you know what good and bad is because God made us all to know that. Like he made us all have hands. So do your mommy and daddy have hands? Yeah, and they also have a heart. And even if you're really, really little, you also have hands, and you have a heart. And you know what? Someone who lives really, really far away in China, and is so different than you. You know what the same thing is? They also have hands and they have a heart. So we all do things from our heart with our hands, either for good or for bad. That's what the Bible calls the moral law. God's rules that are on our heart, and from our heart we do things we want to do with our hands, and sometimes they're bad things. So we need to know what that is, and we're going to learn about this in the 10 ways that they make sense for us in the weeks ahead.